This is a podcast from the Angel News Network with author Joel Anastasi interviewing Saint Germain and Adama, the father of mankind, as channeled by Philip Elton Collins.
Greetings, citizens of the United States of America and the world. We come to you at this time, we being the Ascended Master Saint Germain, who was instrumental in inspiring the creation of the United States, and Adama, within the inner earth civilizations, the father of humanity. Greetings, beloved. Throughout the evolution of humanity on this planet, there have been many advanced civilizations and other dark galactic forces. Remember, you know the light by way of the darkness, that have been attempting to control and manipulate the human species. Much of this is hard for many to believe because this history is very different from that you have been told for eons or taught. But only through knowing the truth and applying it can you fully advance as human beings. Without getting into the many details of how you originated and advanced on this planet, those of you who resonate with this knowledge already know much of it or can easily access it. The one essential thing to know is that within your creation is a sacred, divine, spiritual element which no one nor no thing can access or change. It is your spiritual DNA, called junk DNA by your so-called natural scientists. This spiritual DNA and your free choice and will have been and continue to be protected by we within the higher realms. In fact, the creation of the United States of America being a beacon of light for the world is a reflection of our protection. We inspired your founding fathers and mothers with the documents which are the foundation and basis for your creation and government. You're only now beginning to fully understand and employ these documents, which are loaded with energetic downloads, fuel your success and progress in being what these words say. The challenge within your democracy now, the challenges within your democracy now, are actually strengthening your resolve to protect your divinity and your divinely inspired democracy. As you approach your 4th of July, celebrating the miraculous creation of this nation, we wish to remind you of something else that is ensuring and protecting your free will and the creation of your beloved country, and that is the harmonic region. It is a demonstration of our intention and support to protect your free will and nation. Remember, each nation has a soul plan, and the soul plan of the United States of America is to know and apply that each one of you matters, or you would not be here. The world would be incomplete without each of you being diversified versions of one another from the same source, or you would not be here. Beloved citizens of the United States and of the world, you are a portal to change. You are living through that change. The harmonic convergence is your name given to the planet's first synchronized global peace meditation, which occurred on this channel's birthday that we're coming through now, August 16th, 1987. This cosmic event was fueled and empowered by the exceptional alignment of all the planets within your solar system. We of the higher realms engineered this. There have been additional harmonic convergences in your 2020 and 2021 as many higher realm energies from above and below within this divine planet have been sent to your earth plane to support your personal ascension into a higher frequency existence, divinely led by your nation. In fact, you have received over a 50% measurement of this energy now, ensuring your democracy. Anytime there is a threat to your free will, we are allowed to step in and send energies to protect and support you. It is your choice to receive them or not. Only when your free will, the bases of your democracy, are threatened do we receive permission to step in. We have that now. Release all doubt or fear or ignorance about that of which we speak. Render and know the building block of creation is love, no matter how things in your lives and world appear now. And we represent that love. Now to open up to your questions and concerns, remembering your U.S. Justice Department is suing states who are attempting to block your voters, supporting we the people, by the people, for the people. Feel these words, we, by, for. Listen to the power within them. The Trump organizations are being indicted, and much will be revealed about the threat this organization has been to your democracy. Now, how may we help you, Father?
Good morning, Saint Germain and Adama. Just so that those listening realize who we're talking to, Saint Germain is the guide for mankind for the next 2,000-year age, and Adama is the father of mankind. What an honor to have both of you addressing these issues of American democracy this morning. Thank you for joining us.
It is our divine privilege to be here.
You covered so much fundamental ground. You said that you are given a dispensation when our free will is challenged or threatened. Can you just kind of define for us how our free will is being threatened by the experience we've had with the Trump presidency in the United States?
By ignoring the founding father documents, which lay the strength of the democracy to empower the people, to begin to take those away one by one, to make sure all are not represented within the voting process, particularly those called minorities, and having greed and corruption regarding monetary gain being the focus of the government, manipulating the military and global and international relationships, moving away from endeavors that would protect the planet and eliminate and stop those activities by humanity which are affecting the planet. Remember, dear ones, the planet is going to ascend into a higher frequency of existence with or without humanity. So what we of the higher realms who are serving humanity are intending to be and do is to assist you to be a part of that process along with the planet. Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Of course, we all want to be part of that process as well. Just to bring the conversation back to the Trump presidency, with the assault on the Capitol that happened on January 6th of 2021, at that time, Saint Germain said that Trump had created and directed a master plan to overthrow the U.S. election. That is only now really being investigated. The Republicans have tried to block it as much as they can, but we're beginning to get insights as to the various forces that were at work. From you listed some of them, but it appears that the Capitol Police and maybe even the military and members of Congress are all part of this plan to overthrow the election.
Yes, all of what you speak is true. And it is being revealed. And it will be revealed. And there are powers in place at this time with our higher realm support to make sure that it is revealed.
Well, there is a lot of concern about the health of our democracy. Of course, I've been reading headlines like, is the U.S. democracy dying, and et cetera. One of the incredible challenges to me is that 1/3 of U.S. populations think that the election was stolen, and 2/3 of Republicans say that they believed it was. And I read another statistic just yesterday that about 3 in 10 people, Americans, believe that Trump will be reinstated to the presidency in August.
All of this is folly. What is important to remember, which we have stated already, is that the challenge by this divine soul called Trump, and those who truly may not believe individually and internally what you speak of, but publicly say it is so, There's a discrepancy between what these individuals really know and what they profess publicly to support their agendas. But the challenge taking place now in this divine soul, the one you call Trump, who's chosen to reveal the underbelly and all the unhealed aspects of humanity, has played a mighty role within human history, and particularly the history of the United States of America. But it's global because the United States of America so affects the world. So let us not lose sight of the fact that the challenges that have happened throughout the history of the United States strengthened the resolve of the nation. It has not weakened it.
This is the way I wrote in a description of our conversation after the 2020 presidential election. You said, Trump is a divine soul who volunteered on a soul level to challenge American democracy in a way that would awaken citizen participation in American democracy and reinvigorate America's mission to bring equality, harmony, and balance to the world.
There it is. He is chosen to be this individual. He is not personally conscious of it, but his eternal spirit, his soul, as a part of his human experience, has made this choice. In fact, there could come a time that this divine soul regrets ever having been president for the scrutiny it will allow of himself and his family. But that too is part of the clearing and cleansing that is taking place with the energy from the higher realms that's coming into the earth plane. It is all in divine order.
In one of our last conversations, you alluded to the fact that Trump had been able to escape any consequences for all of his behaviors over the many last decades, but that was coming to an end. We're beginning to see a lot of new investigations. Of course, a lot of people think, well, he escaped all of those investigations of the past. They wouldn't be surprised if he would escape them again.
We're not allowed to predict the future, as you know. It would interfere with your free choice and will. But the situation is different now within the timeline of the consequences that are a part of his soul plan and choosing the role on some higher realm level that he has chosen. Right. Those consequences will be a part of that soul plan.
So many Americans are so concerned about the voter suppression efforts that have been happening on the state and local levels in more than half of the states. And they're even changing election laws to be able to overturn elections. And what so many people are concerned about is that the Democrats have such a narrow amount of control in both houses. In the next election, it would only take 5 seats to take the House of Representatives and only 1 to take the Senate. So there's a lot of concern being expressed out there by people observing all this.
As has been stated, just know that your U.S. Justice Department is investigating the states that are suppressing the voting rights that is taking place. And remember, even if what you speak of takes place, that they are suppressed. The ascension process, the evolutionary process, is not always a straight line forward. Sometimes it needs to step back in order to strengthen itself to go forward again. Do not lose the intention. Eliminate fear, doubt, and ignorance, and know that ultimately it will be in divine order.
I want to take a look at how President Biden is operating, because you had you've taught us in the past about not attacking those that we oppose, but to create a higher parallel path and of a higher consciousness and allow others to entrain to that higher consciousness. It strikes me that Biden seems to be following that pattern. He doesn't really attack his opponents. He seems to be creating a more inclusive, higher path. with the idea of trying to get others to entrain to it. What's your observation about that?
Remember, this divine soul has had decades of experience within government, within the Senate, within the House of Representatives, to cooperate. He is of the old guard, where both sides of the aisle in your vernacular could come to some solution. The recent solution for your infrastructure bills is an example of that. He prefers to have both sides reach agreement, not one forcing to the other. He represents, as president, less of a threat to those who oppose him, for he is a non-controversial father, grandfather figure who truly intends to do the right thing for all and do the best that he can. And both sides of the aisle, no matter what they publicly say, realize this and know this and support it on some level.
I want to quote something that you said about President Biden in one of our previous conversations. You said, "Your new U.S. President, Joseph Biden, is a messenger of the higher realms. Through his compassion and wisdom, he has the ability to bring together people of opposing views. His message of unity is one of inclusion, not exclusion."
Exactly. That is the essence. That is the sole plan of this divine individual.
I want to quote something else you said, because I'm seeing evidence of this all over the place in terms of people I'm seeing speaking on television, hosting television programs, people running for Congress and other offices, people winning the offices. You said this: "Women of the world are helping to create a new paradigm of equality, harmony, and balance based on universal love. They are freeing themselves from the subjugation of the masculine energy, and their voices are being heard in all levels of government and in fields and positions they have never held before." I'm seeing that all over the place.
Yes, there's a more diversified government in the United States than ever before, and that is the bright light and the promise of the nation. It is taking place. The women of the world and the youth will affect necessary change, as has been said many times before.
I'm going to quote one more thing that you said in previous conversations, because you alluded to it earlier on with your introductory comments. You said, "With the help of the higher realms and the higher vibration entities flooding the earth to awaken our consciousness, mankind can choose to ascend into, quote, the greatest awakening in human history. What do you choose? To be an aspect of that ascension or not?"
There is a choice, and that is why we protect the free will and choice of humanity, and are allowed to come in with tools such as a harmonic convergence and gaining dispensations from galactic and planetary and solar system councils to move in when that free will and choice or attempting to impede your spiritual DNA take place. Then we step in.
Well, then, it sounds like, based upon the conversation we've had this morning and previous conversations, that the answer to a question I saw as a headline is, "Our U.S. democracy dying?" I think the answer would be quite the opposite, that it is really thriving, that it is being reinvigorated, and that is America is fulfilling the divine plan.
This is the refounding of America. This is the rebirth of America. And if we may take our leave at this time, we'd like to say some things in closing, may we?
Yes, please.
So as we take our leave, we are remembering some words that were spoken at the first harmonic convergence. And they were, "Who will dare to challenge the destroyers of your nation and earth, knowing they are but specters in the night, and have no power except that which the anointed ones and the people had given to them by their attention, by their fear, by their adoration, and by their false beliefs. Whatever the attention, beloveds, It does not give power to the enemies of mankind. Allow them to fade into the dust. Without the attention, and see how their systems can crumble, and how the new age and the golden age shall appear right within you as the golden human of the heart. The golden human of the heart steps through the veils to become a master of your way of being. Beloveds, a nation will receive whatever experience is most helpful for awakening of its people and their consciousness. How do we know this? Because this is what your nation and world is experiencing at this moment. We say farewell for now and the new dawn for your nation and the world. The future is completely open up to you, creating it. Let us connect with the channel's ancient Native American roots with this old wisdom. No tree can grow and reach heaven within your dense frequency unless its roots reach down to hell.
Wow, Saint Germain and Adama, thank you so much for that wonderful wisdom.
You are welcome.